What's going on out there, family? How y'all doing? I'm Robert.
And I'm Kyra. Oh, you gonna let me introduce myself?
No, I was looking at you when I said your name.
And I'm Kyra.
I'm Robert. This is Kyra. And we are evenly yoked.
Evenly yoked.
That's how it's supposed to go.
I know, but I was like, oh, you gonna let me introduce myself? So I didn't suspect that.
No, don't be unruly like this lady we about to talk about.
Oh, Lord.
Okay.
I don't know if unruly is what you can say.
No, I wouldn't call it that. I'd call it something else, but I will leave that for another broadcast.
Yeah.
But we were watching the V. Simone talk about Martin Luther King and whether or not he's a good man because he had infidelity on his wife.
Important, the fact that Martin Luther King is the man that fought for freedom, or the fact that he was cheating on his wife?
Jesus. I'm gonna give you this example. He's a great father. He's a great businessman. He's a great CEO. He's an entrepreneur. He's such a boss.
He's a boss.
Look at that man. He's a boss.
Look at him.
He's a great father. Look at him, that strong black man.
Look at him being at his kid's game.
But you're cheating on your wife. You're not a good husband. But he's great in all these other aspects. How are you a great leader, a great CEO, a great black man? You're not great.
You're a liar.
Not great. God, you're not. That is triggering.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm a good dad. You're not a good dad because you don't respect me. How the fuck you showing these kids you a good father and you don't respect their mother? You're not a great dad, my nigga. You're an okay human.
Someone being a good person to you means they're a good person to you. Someone being a good person to everyone means that they're a good person.
So I wanted to hear what my wife had to think about that. What do you think about that? Does that make you a worse person, or does it make you not as good as you were, maybe, or does it make you not a great man because you fell short in certain areas? What do you think?
So this first thing, we give honor and respect to Martin Luther King for what he did in the areas he did.
We're not talking about we're talking about you. What do you think?
We give honor and respect to Martin Luther King.
But
let's go to the next part. The next part is, I think I can get the perspective that for you to be a great man or a great woman, that you somewhat have to steward all areas well. I think Pastor Darius was talking about that. But I think just because we fall short, and remember we all fall short, so that means that none of us are great, because we all fall short then, is what we're saying here. So he was great in those areas and made an impact in those areas. He stewarded those areas well. And even still then, it doesn't mean that he wasn't a great father, because he was. What does his children say about him? B. Simone can't say if he was a good daddy. You ain't his child. Only his children can speak on him being a good father. Only his wife can speak on him being a good husband. But when we look at it from the cultural thing and objective, oh, is she a good woman? Is he a good man? You know, your man could not be cheating on you, but he is mentally abusing you and emotionally abusing you to the point to where you feel like you're worthless. So is he good then just because he's not sleeping with somebody else?
I don't know.
You know, so in a sense, I feel like it was totally disrespectful. But I do believe that she did not, and I hope and pray, Lord have mercy, bless the baby. I hope and pray that she was not directing that to Martin Luther King. Sorry, y'all. I hope and pray she was directing it to, it seemed like, you know how we got baggage? I think she was directing it to her baggage and what she was dealing with and what she may be dealing with. You know, but I don't think that was toward Dr. Martin Luther King, rest his soul, and Coretta Scott King, rest her soul. But nobody is perfect, you know. And I will say, at one time, I think we've had this conversation before, like with us in our marriage. Like, okay, so can I be great? Can you be great if, you know, we've done things to each other that, you know, was not great. No, neither one of us have had infidelity, but we have had transgressions that maybe were, not what we would say the best or marital. But you know what? Then okay, let me say this too though. What we've learned as we grew up and got more in marriage, y'all, is what makes a great marriage is you going through some stuff. You have to go through to get to. And now we have gotten to a place to where when I'm with him, that's only where I want to be. Like, this is my man. This is my rider. This is my best friend. But we had to go through some stuff to really understand how much we truly love and are in love and work together. And there's nobody else for me than him. So, I mean, like, really, like, we go and we do what we got to do. But just not even being with you yesterday. Like, when I got home, I'm like, I'm home. You know what I mean? Just to be like, I felt different. And it wasn't bad. It's just, now I'm back. So I think sometimes we look at people, we'd be like, oh, you have a perfect marriage because you never cheated on each other. No, we've never cheated on each other, but there's no such thing as a perfect marriage. And what makes marriage strive for perfection is that you have to go through hurdles and trials and triumphs. You have to go through those things. Like they say, you can't have a testimony without a test. So I think sometimes we get it mistaken about this perfect marriage. No such thing as perfect marriage. And anybody that you know out here that's been married, I say 10 plus years, still married, they're going to tell you, oh baby, we've been through some stuff. We've been through it, and we've worked through it. We've got through it, and now we have got to it. And I think that's maybe what, B. Simone is missing, and she can't speak on Dr. King and Miss King.
Are you sure that him committing infidelity was not too much?
Too much
sure
for
that it wasn't like unforgivable?
Too much for what? Like
unforgivable for him to be somebody you look up to.
I'm gonna say this. I do not condone for infidelity. I think it is something that I would probably girl, I can't right now I say I can't do it. But you say you never know what you can. But if I were to cheat on him, no faces. Look, you don't like it. But
we ain't got to worry about that one, baby. This is over and done with.
Yeah, see.
That don't mean you ain't
but
great.
You never know what you can get.
And I'll put it to you like this.
Until you know.
And I'll put it to you like this. If that were to happen and I was to decide, hey, I'm done with this situation, it don't mean that you're a poor human being. It just means that what you did was too much for me to handle. That's all it is.
Right.
It don't mean that you're a poor human being. You're a normal human being. Normal human beings make mistakes. That's what we do.
And nowadays,
but we have. So let me tell you.
And women stuck through some stuff.
Let me tell you. Because if it was a situation like that, and that doesn't stop the fact that you gave me my children. Right. That doesn't stop the fact that all the stuff you did do. It don't stop all the stuff that you did do for me, for my children, for our household, our home. I mean, maybe we went through a rough patch and you had a mistake. Maybe it can be forgiven. Maybe it can't. I don't know. But that doesn't mean that you are a worse. Maybe a little bit worse person. But it doesn't mean that you're unredeemable as a person. Right. I think that you can definitely redeem yourself out of any situation. Now, whether or not it's too much for your partner to handle, that's something different.
But and that's what I say. I say we have to, and I think sometimes in a sense, you have to do like a percentage.
A percentage of what?
If you do like out of 100,
So what have you been?
Like Martin was on.
So if you only bang 33. Good. If you bang 33 out of 100 of them girls.
No. So what I'm saying
then
is,
you can be redeemed.
he was like 80%, stewarding well, and maybe in 20% he wasn't. So he's still in the great category. I don't know.
Now, Coretta, there was one more. 34. What you mean 34?
Exactly.
That's too many.
I don't think you can take away from that man what he did, what he didn't do. He's still great, like I say, in what he stewarded well. And I think that's like what Pastor Darius was saying. He's saying, hey, you stewarding well your prayer life, you're stewarding well your marriage, you're stewarding well, your kids, but are you stewarding well your gifts, your talents? We have to realize there's different parts of our lives that we have to steward, and that's what makes our whole life. So I don't think he's not great. No, I do not like that he did cheat, but everybody has their thorns and their faults, and God uses the least of us.
Okay,
is what we have to remember.
So that's good. I agree with all of what you said. So what I would like to add or to spin on that is that's one great figure we look up to, as in Martin Luther King. And maybe we'll split this up in a part 2 for this part of it. But what about with Malcolm X?
I was going to say him too.
Malcolm X is not known to have cheated on his wife.
Not known.
But he has known to have had a past of I think he was pimping.
Yeah, what was he pimping or?
He was either a pimping or a hustler, but either way, he was a criminal, admittedly.
Yeah,
so he was admittedly a criminal. But
right.
do you look at his legacy as tarnished?
Still great. Yeah.
As Martin Luther King's, because Martin Luther King's record was tarnished with cheating instead of being a
Or is
criminal?
it because he was the criminal first, forgiven, then became great?
I'm asking you.
Well, you get what I'm saying?
Do you think one is more tarnishable than the other?
No, I'm growing now.
So you don't think that it's more tarnishing on your legacy to cheat than it is to be a criminal first?
I think it is very bad to cheat. And I do think that says a lot about the spouse and the marital man that Martin was, at that time.
Right.
And again, I'm not Coretta, I can't speak on it, but to us in our light, it does look like, there was some things there that got a hold of him. And he couldn't, I don't know if he dealt with it, if they did better. I mean, I don't know. As long as I know, they stayed together. They were still married. But with Malcolm, like you say, yeah, he had a past, right? He was, he did bad things. He was changed, and then he went to do great things, So, I mean,
fair enough.
I don't think so.
Fair enough.
I don't think that declares him not great.
Well, yeah, that's why
that's far.
That's why I'm riding with you on it. There you go. That's why I'm riding with you. You had such good game on this particular topic. I'm so glad that I don't got to be with no woman like B. Simone. Peace.